Hi. Hi guys. So this video is unscripted, but I'm just going to talk about how I was saying this video is unscripted. I'm just going to talk about how I'm going to talk about my journey of being a student pilot to a private pilot during high school. I don't know why this is here, but right now I'm graduated and right now I do have my private pilot's license, but I'm just going to be talking about the past. And yeah, I have nothing else to do right now, so I just figured I'd make a YouTube video about that. So all the way back to summer of 2019, I just literally became a student pilot, and becoming a student pilot is just like registering and whatever. And I mean, anybody can become a student pilot, really. Just get an instructor. And yeah, so I mean, there's nothing really cool about being a student pilot. You can't take anybody except yourself, and you're just flying with your instructor, really, just getting to know what it's like to be in the plane. So I first flew in June 2019, and that was the first time I flew with my instructor. And the first things we did was we just started training landings right off the bat, because you're going to need to know how to land the plane, obviously, and that's the hardest maneuver. So once you get your landing down in the plane, everything else it literally comes naturally, because once you know the mechanics of landing, all the other maneuvers, because you'll know how the aerodynamics of the plane works. So once you get the landing down, I'm pretty sure everything else will come easy. Everything else is just knowledge, and the other thing is just communications and radios in the plane. And I would say the knowledge and knowing the laws, those are the only other hard parts in the plane. Yeah, so school started in August, so during my early senior years, I started training like more intensely. Just not intense, because I would say 2 to 3 times a week. That's how often I trained my senior year. And I had 2 free periods my senior year, so shit was light in school. And except my 2 AP classes, it was just physics and calculus. But like I didn't really have the right to complain, because there were people that pushed themselves harder in school. But I had 2 free classes, and my biggest flex was that my mommy dropped me off at the airport to go fly when I couldn't even drive myself, and all my friends were driving. So I think what made it easy for me to fly was physics, because a part of flying, you have to know the aerodynamics, right? And in physics, they teach you aerodynamics. So I think physics made it a lot easier for that one concept. And because they test you on it in your check ride. And so all throughout senior year, I would fly 2 to 3 times a week. I soloed isn't it ironic that you could solo in a freaking plane, but you can't drive yourself anywhere? Like, why do bitches trust you in the plane when you can't even drive before your license, and the fucking FAA trusts you to drive? Anyways, so I soloed Halloween October. I got my first landing ever by myself down. I was the only one in the plane. My little Cessna, I landed in my Cessna. And then I got my next solo to Camarillo. If you guys don't know where Camarillo is about 50 miles west, towards past Malibu. So it's a pretty plane ride. And then that was my second cross-country solo. And then I got my third cross-country solo to Camarillo, to Santa Barbara, around February. So you could tell that my training isn't consistent, because I soloed in October, then I soloed in December for Camarillo, then I soloed in February, because I was doing it all throughout my senior year. So like I was distracted by school, and then COVID didn't help at all, because right after I soloed to Santa Barbara, COVID hit after February and March-ish. And I was supposed to test. The final test is called the check ride, and I was supposed to have my check ride during March, but thank God it didn't. You have to have your written down, and I held off my written test till the last second. So before you could test for your pilot's license, you have to have a written test down above 70%, but I didn't even have it scheduled. So yeah, so I didn't finish my written until like last like 3 weeks ago. But I just got my private pilots, 3 weeks ago, literally. So I held it off. Yeah, I mean, so that's really the story. This is a good song. I love this song. I think basically anybody can be a pilot. It's pretty fucking easy. I mean, if you guys know me personally, I literally can't drive, and my friends always drive me places, and I think it's so funny. I'm just working up to, you know, become a pilot, hopefully. Literally, for us, it was $8,000 down the drain, but $8,000 to become a pilot. I mean, people can become pilots for cheaper. I have 60 hours in my logbook, 65, I think, which is average. When pilots train, they usually get it around 60 hours, so I'm just a little above like the average. And I was even multitasking it during senior year, so it took me around 1 year to get my private pilot's license, and that's long because other people like are focused, and I had school going on, which isn't I mean, I guess I'm average. I think I held it off for too long, and because COVID hit, yeah, I didn't train for 3 months after COVID hit. And literally, when I got back from training after COVID, my instructor was pretty frustrated, I would have to say, because he thought I knew a lot of the stuff that I already didn't know. So, like, basically, he thought I knew more when I came back to train again in like June. And I didn't know anything because I hadn't trained for 3 months. So if you train to become a private pilot, I would just say, you know, stay consistent. Not even a private pilot, just being a pilot in general. So I think that's really all I have to say. And I don't know why I'm like giving advice. I'm trying to tell a story. Yeah, I just really did it all throughout my senior year, and I think it's quite a ride. Yeah, it's 10 out of 10, recommend be a pilot by the time you graduate high school. But I became a pilot after I graduated high school, so that's not really a flex, but here I am. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you guys to like and subscribe or anything, but I'm kind of funny. No, I'm just annoying. But anyways, be a pilot by the time you graduate from high school. 10 out of 10, recommend. $8,000 down the drain. I love you guys.